All right, it is 9:31. I tried to get filled at as high as 19. I would have been filled maybe at 15 or 16. Unfortunately, I can't trade this one with Fidelity because of the fact that I guess it enters something called Caveat Emperor or something like that. So it's like worse than being an OTC. It's like the worst of the worst, and I guess they don't allow trading with that. But I like this one because it just had a big gap down 75%, and it's been trying to hold this 13 level. And I would have had a very tiny position, as you can see right here. I guess it wouldn't have been that profitable, but that's because of the fact that this thing could literally go to like the smallest number ever, which is just three zeros and then a number one. It could actually do something like that if it just breaks the day low and it panics. But it seems like it's trying to uptrend, and I'll make an update as to what this does later. I just tried to do that one setup here, it didn't happen. Okay, it is 10:18, and I'm no longer watching TXTM or IFXOI because they're not necessarily things I can trade, but I have been looking at WLAM for a while, and I was first watching it around here when it was looking like it was following this downtrending trend line, and I was looking if it was going to break above it and maybe uptrend, but I just don't like how this one, it is doing it. It is breaking this multi-day range high of 106. I just don't like how it did it with a gap up. The previous close was 88, and then we opened at 1 penny, which is like a 12% move. Has a morning spike, and then it kind of trades back and forth. It breaks out of this channel right here. I don't know. I just think I would have liked it more if it maybe downtrended some more and wiped out some more sellers or some bidders just to kind of legitimize it a bit more because I just don't like how I had a big gap up. But it's actually uptrending right now. And I'll be looking forward to a potential dip buy. I don't want to trade this on a breakout setup. Although this is very common with this stock that it just has a bunch of green prints and it plows its way through the ask. I still want to consider buying it, but maybe on a dip buy. If I missed the setup and I should have taken this right here, that's fine. I just don't like how this thing was on a gap up. If this thing just traded normally and it uptrended and it had the same pattern, I would have definitely have traded it. But again, the gap up just kind of makes it feel like it's floating a bit higher than where it should be and it might sell off at any point. So I'll make an update later. This is all that I'm really looking at right now. Actually, no, I am looking at CRTD also. I have it on the other screen, but I guess it won't be that hard to draw. But I do have this like little channel right here. And then I have another one. I think, let me see how I have it on the other chart. Okay, so it is following the bottom part. I have another channel like this. I want to see if maybe it can be something where I can consider a dip buy at the bottom of the channel, and then maybe it can eventually be something where it can try to make a move towards the top, and this could be a bull flag, like a very long bull flag, but a bull flag nonetheless. I do like how it's trading with this trend line, how it's, you know, went well below it a few times, and now it broke past it. It sold off some more, and right now it's trying to hold this lower right here above the trend line. So this could actually be a bullish sign. And it is near the bottom of the range, I guess. I'm also looking at this. I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 11:02. I got out of a trade with CRTD. I've had two trades. One of them didn't work out. It was a scratch, and this one worked out. It got to VWAP, which was my goal, and I want to see if it can uptrend over a longer period of time. Maybe it can put up a higher low at some point, maybe around this 108 level, and then break above VWAP some more and uptrend some more. Let me just refresh the chart so it doesn't have a weird looking VWAP. I did do this first attempt right here. It didn't work out. So again, this was with the thing in mind that maybe it was going to be like a bull flag, and it was looking like it was at the bottom range, and maybe it was trying to find support and then ideally make an uptrend. So I did buy 200 shares at 1023, and that was at this point right here, 1023 at 124 and a half. So basically 125 right here. I was in this range again. It had like a dip that was a bit lower here with some volume. The most amount of volume at this point of the chart, at least the time period. And then, I thought it was trying to hold, maybe be like a baby higher low and break this downtrending trend line that I drew later, but I had it in mind. And, the goal will be for it to get to VWAP and then above it if it wants to be really nice. I did get out of it very quickly, actually, at 10:26, a few minutes later. So that was right here because I didn't like how we had this little sell-off right here at 10:26, this wick with a bit of a volume, and it was right at the day low, and I just didn't like that. I just felt like it was going to uptrend better than this if it was going to work out. So I did get out of the position at 10:23 at 120, no, not 10:23, 10:26 right here. This same candle at 123, so that was a tiny loss, maybe what, $3, right? Because it was 1 penny difference, 200 shares, $2, and then half of that is a dollar. So yeah, I lost $3 there. But then I didn't see this. Unfortunately, this thing would have been kind of crazy. And I like how it broke under a dollar, which is a nice, beautiful round number. Probably scared a lot of people out. A lot of big volume in this wick right here. Got as low as 93 pennies and then it started to come back and break above a dollar. If I was there, I would have been interested in trading that, and I don't know if I would have were to have been profitable or not. I think I would have, but I definitely would have liked to have seen it. But this was super nice, and then it uptrended, made a ceiling which is roughly 108, and then it sold off. And then I got in right here because I thought this was like the higher low off of this panic dip buy. So it's no longer a bull flag setup because it broke this range right here. I was now just trading it because it was a bit crazy. It had a whole bunch of volume. It broke under a super nice round number. I just traded it for the volatility. It was no longer, me thinking that it can try to get back to its highs and be a bull flag. Although it can uptrend over a longer period of time. I'm just trading that volatility break under a dollar. And my specific trade was a higher low. I did buy at 1057, 200 shares at 103. So right here, 1057, 103. And I was actually going to have this on a leash. If it was going to break below 102, that might not be too nice. But if it looks like it's going to break under a dollar again, I would be cutting the position right there. And yeah, this one got to VWAP, which is my goal. It's always my goal. And sure, it could get to the 130s later, but my goal was VWAP. So I need to learn to be happy with that if it gets much higher. I did sell half of my position at 107 at 11 o'clock when it was starting the workouts. And I thought, maybe, we had this little baby higher low and then it gets to the top of the range. There's 108 to 109 level and it just tops and it fails. So I did sell half of my position while it was at this point right here in the upper range. And then it broke out of it, which was nice. And I didn't sell all of it. The other half, I sold 50 shares at 1102 at 114. So right here, I sold some. And that's because it got to the goal of VWAP. And then I sold the last piece the same minutes a bit later at 14.5 when it looked like the momentum wasn't going to continue and break further past the VWAP level. But yeah, again, this thing can make a higher low or something and then continue to break further past VWAP. But I traded it for this setup right here, the higher low setup off of this panic, right here, which would have been nice to have traded again with that thing breaking that psychological number of $1 and then really wiping out some sellers, and then once it's showing that it's trying to come back above a dollar, that's always a nice setup, and that would have been pretty profitable too. So that's pretty much it for right now. This one did continue the uptrend and makes a bunch of short sellers cry. I'm not able to trade this one on Fidelity. I forgot the reason why, but I can trade it on Schwab. And actually, no, I think I had the chance to trade this on Fidelity because it's a OTC. The thing is that I can't short this on Fidelity because I don't have a short selling account. That would have had to have been with Schwab. Let me just see if I can buy this stock. Right, in theory, I'll have a stupid limit at $8. Okay, yeah, this stock is restricted. I forgot if it was that I'm just not able to short sell it or okay, yeah, this one's restricted. I can trade it on Charles Schwab, but yeah, this thing was nice. This would have been a setup too once it broke. I think the top was this day right here at 769. Yeah, that's what I have right here in my notes. Yeah, this was nice. It made a bunch of short sellers cry. It got to the eights. Um, this might be all it can do. Just wanted to give one FU to the short sellers and then bring it down. Maybe it'll uptrend for a few more days if there were some stubborn short sellers and they keep tripping over each other. That's pretty much it. I'll make an update as to CRTD. Yeah, this one uptrending and everything, but it just had a stupid gap up, which threw me off. It's nice to see that it worked though. It was super aggressive too because I don't have it here, but I think a trend line I had off of this one right here, yeah, showed that it kind of broke past it right here, went under, but then it tried to regain itself aggressively above this trend line again. And that was pretty impressive. So yeah, sucks to have missed out on this one. And then this one I'm not able to trade it. It would have had to have been on Schwab, which is fine. And then this one, I at least traded this one, which worked out. I got to VWAP, missed out on this setup. Tried it right here, it didn't work out, that's fine. And then there was one more, last one. This one was nice too. This is a random trend line from another day that ends up showing up. I like this. If it lets me draw it. Maybe something like this. Right? This is cool. I would have been out at VWAP. I wouldn't have been in for this price action here. This is crazy, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this one they get as high as this 20 sub penny low, which would have been profitable. I just was not able to trade this. And this one was weird. I never really had an interest. It sold off. That's it for right now. I'll make an update later, if not when the market is closed. It is 11:24 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on a day, 12 bucks and 26 trades. One setup with CRTD that didn't work out, the first one, and then the second one, which got to my goal, which is VWAP. It was very nice. I like my sells overall. Sure, I had that one sell of half of my position at 107, but I don't regret that too much because it didn't have to get to VWAP, and I've seen a lot of setups that don't really get to VWAP, and selling half right here with the idea that maybe it might take longer for it to uptrend if it works, or it might fail and break the level, and then I might end up cutting the position if it gets to that $1 level, is always realistic, at least to me. And yeah, I'm very happy that it did what it did. It didn't really get that much above VWAP later on in the day and try to reverse. Very nice setup there. And then MMTLP, very nice short squeeze. WLAN, just don't like the gap up. It only means that it's going to be more likely something that have maybe a crazy downtrend eventually. But I guess one thing to take into consideration, even though this thing had a gap up, the high was 97, which was super close to the low 96. So maybe it kind of legitimized it a little just by dropping to that level twice. But I still think it's too much of a gap up. And then that nice setup with NLST, I didn't trade it, but this thing would have been pretty nice to be a part of. And then I did try to be a part of TXTM, which did work out. And wow, I actually got higher, got as high as 25. I was watching it right here when it was topping at this point right here. And I wouldn't have held for this. This thing, would have failed a trend line eventually if I were to have maybe drawn one like this. Or maybe like this, would have been out anyway. And then IFXY. This one I don't think really worked out. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just that setup with CRTD that didn't work out, and then this one that really worked out. I missed out on a lot of setups, but at least I'm trying, and I, have to get better at staying focused on the market and not looking away or getting distracted until at least 11 a.m. shows up. That seems to be something that I really need to keep working on. That's it for today.